Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday. You know what that means. It's time to hammer away. Today, we are going to get hammered. You've noticed what's happening here today. The rockin' return of my brother, Mike Floros of Love and Chains. And you know what? He even started the show because that's him playing that awesome theme track.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
I think we all can dig it. Thank God for Wednesday. Here we go. What is up, my brother, Mike?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I am great. As I was just saying, it's
air
the end of the
drumming?
school year. So
Did you see me air drumming on your intro?
I did. I almost took the graphic off.
Well, there you go. You know, it is what it is, man. I had to take a few moments away from, just kind of surfing on Farmers Only and stop in today.
Oh, man. I tell you what is before I get started on anything, I need a beer. I was talking to my friend who just went down to the ballpark, and I was joking with her about having an extra beer. She doesn't drink beer.
Well, I'm getting pretty heavy today. It's like here we are. Got a little something in the Elvis cup. Probably should have made it Irish, but I've just got some coffee.
That's gorgeous, man. I wore my AC/DC, but I looked at my Elvis shirt. I'm like, when we went down to Graceland, I found the shirt, which was from the 68 comeback show. And I'm like,
oh,
I gotta have it.
Man, I'm jealous that you A, have that shirt, B, have been to Graceland. I am like seriously jealous. That's got to be like a vacation at some time.
I'll tell you what,
with
dude,
the wife.
We should go there together.
Yeah, we should. That's right.
Yeah.
That's it. There it is.
Fun. Do you think your wife would enjoy it?
She might, but maybe not if I invited Priscilla to the Jungle Room. I'm not sure if that would go over well.
Well, you just never know.
Well, you never know. It's just,
You're like, you never know, but I can make a pretty good assumption.
Yeah, that's it. Let me just make a pitch. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, dude, I love Elvis. As you know, I've even got an Elvis guitar. It's hidden in the other room right now, so I won't go and grab it.
I remember it.
Yeah, we've got Elvis. We've got Marilyn. I'm looking into finalizing the trifecta and getting myself a James Dean guitar. Getting a James Dean made. So yeah, hopefully I can get that done.
So let me ask you this. When you're talking about getting it, is that something where you have a guitar and you've got somebody that can put the graphic on it?
Yes and no. Marilyn was actually a custom guitar that actually had the graphic, as part of the design, as part of the inlay. And I'm sure the process is somewhat the same. But Elvis was a guitar that I found. The Elvis guitar was really cool because I found it online at a guitar center. And it's exactly what I was looking for, which was a triple humbucker, Les Paul shaped. It's a Jackson Monarch. And then I just kind of customized it and, put the Elvis thing on there. And we got really lucky because when we received the guitar, the fellow that did all the customization for me, Brian Colkett, who has his own YouTube channel about guitars, actually, I think what he did is when he pulled the guitar apart, he called me because I was going to replace the pickups.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I don't think you want to do that. And I said, why is that? He said, because whoever had this guitar before you, they replaced the pickups with 3 EVH humbuckers. I was like, well, we're good.
Not only that, they licked them, it seems. So
yeah, it was like $550 for those pickups. So yeah,
wow,
I paid $500 for the guitar.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, so then you had somebody did you put the graphic on? Or did you have somebody put the graphic on?
My friend Brian put the graphic on for me. Then he kind of dressed it up. We put like some locking tuners on there and some, put a new bridge, all kinds of fun stuff.
Okay.
And
I've got guitars and I've got ideas and I'm just like, I would love to do that. I would love to come up with a graphic and have somebody do a wrap for, the guitar and just wrap it.
Well, check out a guy by the name of his site is called Inzane, INZANE skins.com.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll do it for you, man. That's
what
we used for Elvis.
Fantastic.
Marilyn, like I said, Marilyn was custom, and that girl is she's not only a big girl, she was pricey. So,
Yeah.
But I've got some great pickups in that one. After we received it, we gutted the pickups, and my sole endorsement would be Joshua Hernandez at Home Record Pickups. Just really he set that guitar up amazingly well, and that thing just absolutely screams.
Wow.
So it's he just he put all kinds of fun stuff on that guitar. So
Oh man. Well, I will. Yeah, I'll definitely have to get that information from you and put some links out for that stuff.
sure, most definitely.
And do that. I see that Jason is here, but I don't see him on the video.
I don't know about that. Maybe he's having a bad hair day. He is, the Justin Bieber of the band. So
Should we just ask him? Should we bring him in and ask him?
yeah, sure, why not?
Hey, Jason, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason my camera's not working okay. We were on another call today, actually, and
Yeah.
we'll let the cat out of the bag, but one of our other bands is, signed to Frontiers, and my camera would not work then either. So I don't know. Actually, I was having a really good hair day. My wife even told me so.
Well, then I stand corrected. I myself have been, speaking of hair days, I've been, kind of checking out the internet, trying to find out where Tom Brady had all his transplants done because I want to get that peak Tom Brady hair. That's my goal in life.
Well, you're having a good hat day, Mike.
Yeah, well, I always do. It's a Raiders hat, so how bad could it be?
Damn it! I was just gonna say, but if it's a Raiders hat, I might have to take that back.
Well, you'd have to take it back. I'm also wearing a Derek Carr jersey, so from back in the day when he was with the Raiders. And I only one thing to say to all those people who hate Derek Carr. There you go. Yeah, see that? There you go. All right, but that's it.
So you have a lot of love for those people.
No, none at all. None at all.
Now we were just. Oh man. Okay, so all right, so I have a lightning round question for you.
Sure.
Based on something that you said in the beginning, and Jason, this goes for you too.
Okay.
All right.
Because don't we all? I mean, I'm assuming at some point everybody who does air musicianship does air drums. What is your favorite song to do some air drums?
Oh, we all have to know that. It's In the Air Tonight with Phil Collins, just for the one part, for sure.
Yes. That's very good. What about you, Jason?
I would say Over the Mountain by Ozzy.
Dude.
Yeah,
just heard that this morning.
Yeah.
Oh,
and isn't that Tommy Aldridge on drums?
No, actually it's Bob Daisley, not Bob Daisley.
Lee Kerslake.
Kerslake, yeah, Lee Kerslake. Yeah.
Sorry.
I got to meet him right before he passed away. A buddy of mine, Chuck,
man,
who lives. I think you've met Chuck before, Mike. But yeah, he's a really cool dude, big music supporter. But actually gave him a ride to it was the Randy Rhoads Remembered.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
2018.
Wow.
Very cool.
I just saw there's a tribute, Blizzard of Oz tribute band, and there was a guy playing some Randy Rhoads licks and stuff. It's looking really good.
Was it Damiano Christensen?
Yes.
Is that who it was? Yeah,
I saw it on Facebook, so that's probably right.
Yeah, his one of his bands, he's in a band with Shannon Wilk, and they actually were part of our show at the Whiskey. That guy is an amazing player. I didn't want to pick up my guitar after he came off stage, but that's aside from the point. He won't be invited back to another. He won't be invited back to another gig with us ever. But
speaking of Randy Rhoads, Mike, do you remember that time that I was supposed to play at that winery that's owned by his family, but I got there, my bass wouldn't work.
Oh yeah, I remember that 100%. Yeah.
And so no joke, but they were just like, they felt so bad that Randy's sister just kept giving me more and more wine till finally, I mean, I still pretty remember this, but they wouldn't let me drive home. And I had to go all the way to the OC. And so, yeah,
I remember that. That was a good time.
Anyways, so I lost the
over.
What's that? What?
I lost the over. How many glasses of wine will make Jason fall down? But that's I
wasn't even falling down. But what happened was, so I'm with the long way. So I'm trying to. I didn't get to play, but Chaz, my singer for the other band, and Jimmy ended up playing. They did an acoustic set without me on bass. And so I had this monstrous amp I was trying to load into the car.
Yeah.
So it was out in the curb out front, and I caught my boot on this like part of the curb, and I tripped, and the amp went flying in the car. And they thought for some reason I was just totally hammered. This is Randy Rose's sister, and they got me an Uber all the way back to the OC, and then they delivered my vehicle to my house the next day. Yeah, I felt so guilty.
Good times.
Yeah,
That's okay. You know,
They're like, no, really, I'm fine. I'm fine.
yeah.
Guilt, the Catholic gift that keeps on giving.
Anyway, sorry about that. I went down a rabbit hole there.
Oh man. Well, we got Salvatore is in with us today. We got our buddy Drew is in. Good afternoon,
Yeah, I see
gentlemen.
that.
I fell asleep hard last night. Yeah, we were up late. I did a late night game show last night. Played a little bit of Rocket League late. Oh man. Yeah. Go Chiefs, says Salvatore.
Well, yeah.
And wine is a special kind of drunk.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
It all depends on how you handle it. I think going back to the air drums, one of some things I love is when you got drum things that do different stuff. And me, as a person who always wanted to play drums, you find those little things like Blackfoot, like train. You got a ride cymbal here. You don't have a ride cymbal here. You got, it's kind of like on bass when you play Lights Out by UFO and you have some galloping parts.
Oh yeah.
And then you have the part that's like,
oh yeah. Yeah, some legendary Pete Way there.
Yes, absolutely. It's always cool when you get to change it up a little bit, and you got different styles of playing.
That's from that band UFO, right?
Yeah, UFO. You absolutely right.
I love UFO. They're fantastic. They make nice shoes too.
Just like I like the Raiders.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, like Mark Lindsay, the Raiders. It's good stuff.
I mean, so Mike, you're okay with the Raiders moving to Las Vegas? I mean, obviously it's been a couple of years, but there's some people that I know weren't happy with it, and they didn't
100%. 100%. I'm okay with it. If you've ever been to a game,
team?
I love Oakland. Oakland's fun.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, man, every time I went to a Raiders game, Raiders fans were fighting with other Raiders fans. So to me, it was like, yeah, I'm all right with it if they go to Vegas. Plus, it's, then we get to, the Chiefs fans like to fly out there and have, and so I'll probably go to a Raiders Chiefs game this year just so we can laugh when we beat them, incessantly with a subpar quarterback, and they have Patrick Mahomes, kind of like last year, where our quarterback didn't even, throw a pass in the second half or complete a pass in the second half, and they still got their asses whipped. Yeah, that's coming again. Yeah, the time for honoring yourself has come to an end, Chiefs fans.
It did take him a little bit of time to get his legs back last year. I'm like, that's
okay. Like, he's not going to have him this year. He's not going to have him. My boy Crosby's going to take him out, but that's just.
Crosby's aware of this. I'm sure you've talked to him.
Max and I, we chat all the time. I'm going to be one of the guests on The Rush next week.
Oh, well, there you go then. Fantastic. I'll have to get the Kelsey brothers on our show then here. So
yeah, why not? Couple of tool bags from Cincinnati.
Hello.
Yeah. No, I'm sure they're very nice people.
And I'm sure they won't be on my show now because you did that. So
that's right. No, I'm kidding. They're from Ohio. How bad can they be?
Oh man. So speaking of Ohio, I did have the new video. So we're talking some Love and Chains today, and among whatever else, obviously. So the new video is out there now. The EP dropped yesterday.
No, it was supposed to. We ended up having like a technical glitch.
Oh no!
With it was actually a couple of things. We had a technical glitch when I tried to re-upload it, and it just wasn't happening. So I had to kind of redo everything yet again. Wow. And so there was no way it would have made it, like because it's all covers, so they have to go through like the process of, they basically take care of all of the cover licensing for you, and it takes a little bit longer.
Okay.
to upload a cover album. So I had to push it back like a week. It'll be out on the 28th.
Okay, the 28th.
But yeah,
all right, cool.
Yeah, we had to remove it the first time because there's a band who shall remain nameless, who just was kind of butthurt that we did one of their songs. So so I pulled it. Yeah, and it's a band from our hometown, but they didn't like the arrangement, which was awkward because it was the exact same arrangement that they had. But sure,
Okay.
whatever. Yeah, but no, I mean, I don't want to harp on them because everybody.
Well, I know. I mean,
else
and is there a positive way we can
spin that? Yeah,
talk about it or no?
Sure, there is, because they've got the only version out there, and it's a classic, and we love the tune. So, and they've got a gig coming up, and we wish them success.
Okay.
But no, what's really positive is when we, the bands that we contacted absolutely loved, and I mean, loved the fact that we were covering some of their songs for the most part, and we really just enjoyed, especially like Born and Raised on Rock and Roll. It was fantastic. We got a fantastic time. But then we've been texting back and forth with the or members of Boku, or I wouldn't say texting. I think it's DM is the proper terminology. And then there's a band called White Noise where we performed one of their songs as well. And it was just, they were humbled by the fact that we did it. And I thought that was fantastic because to me, and I said this in another interview, White Noise for me, those guys, in Youngstown, these guys used to play every weekend at the Star Theater. This is a place that held about 2,000 people, legit. I mean, I saw Night Ranger there. Bon Jovi played there. Huey Lewis and the News. Saw the Romantics. There's a bunch of Michael Stanley Band, and this place was packed with all of these national acts all the time. They would pack the place every weekend. I mean, every weekend there was at least 1,000+ people there, and it was just fantastic because these guys they're from Youngstown. They come out. They've got the Roland synth guitars that they open up with the song Rescue Me, which is on the Rust Belt EP. And they've got these flamethrowers going, flames going everywhere, these steel girders, smokes bellowing up. I mean, it was like Kiss, dude. I mean, so it's like these guys are from Youngstown and they're gonna make it. So these guys were like heroes to me. And I don't think they ever really knew that. They know it now, but it's like because we used to hang with them like down at the downtown bars and stuff after the shows, and it was like we just had drinks together and whatnot. But it was like to me, these guys were just like heroes. So it's awesome that they were so cool with us doing their gig. Look, there's Jason.
There you go.
Now we've got two Jasons.
Yeah, I can hang up the other one. Let me hang up the other one. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah. Either that or I think I can kick you out.
Oh yeah, kick it out. Yeah.
Kick him out.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. There he is. There he is.
You are having a good hair day. Shit.
Every day is a good hair day for Jason.
Jeez.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. So are you. Your hair looks awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's
I'm letting it grow in, as you can see.
I can tell. Except it all seems to fall this way.
I know, but give it another 6 months or so, man. I'm going to be rocking the Ben Franklin. Just going to tie it back in a little ponytail. Going to have that sweet horseshoe right there.
Walking around with a kite around your back there.
Hell yeah, dude. Little key on it.
Little key hanging off there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your hair will be standing up on end after a while.
100%.
100%. Just like that.
Yep.
So you have a lot of so there's how many tracks are on this new EP called Rust Belt?
Six
tracks. Let me put this one up here real quick. This is the very first. So get out there and check that out. It's the brand new track from that called Voodoo. So I love Michael Stanley. I've never done a huge deep dive into Michael Stanley, but we play Michael Stanley in my band.
Dude, you gotta. Some of that earlier stuff is really cool. Like Let's Get This Show on the Road. I'd love to do that song. Great tune.
That's one of those, not, how do you want to say it? It's not too complicated. Not a ton of chords. No. But man, if you play it right and you've got the soul in it, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those tunes that has like that. It has like that little kind of bridgey thing, in there as well, which is really awesome. The only other song I think of that has like that same type of vibe for me would be "Strange Way" by what was it, Pablo Cruz that did that song?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, Firefall.
Okay.
Firefall.
That's
My
right.
bad.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, from Elan. What a great record. I got very fortunate not long ago to pick that up. I found one that was I don't know, it was not too expensive, less than $10, sealed.
Oh, nice. Vinyl or
vinyl. I have my original vinyl of it, but then I found one sealed too, and I was like, wow.
Even
that's
better.
amazing.
Yeah, Jason picked up a Heartland Michael Stanley Band album vinyl a while back, and it's one of the things, man. We loved playing like all these bands that were from like Northeast Ohio, Northwestern Pennsylvania, the Rust Belt, and I didn't really think of it initially. Like I said, we probably could have thrown a couple of bands in there from like Detroit or something. Probably could have done like a Romantics tune, something like that. Just because that's what the area is about. It's about hardworking people. It's about being Steel Town. You've got Toledo, the Glass City, Akron, the Rubber City. Youngstown is known as the Steel City. Sorry Pittsburgh, that's us, not you. They're the Iron City. They can have all the iron they want.
You could have almost gone to Buffalo even, because I mean Buffalo is so close as well.
Yeah.
Well, it's that Great Lakes region, which is it's a great place to be from.
Yeah, which I don't know if I brought this up I think I brought this up on the show before. Do you guys know that old song, Buffalo Girls, when they from what is it? It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh yeah, of course.
Buffalo Girls. Do you know what that's about?
No clue.
No idea.
When they built the bridge between Buffalo and Canada.
Oh, okay.
The Buffalo Girls were the prostitutes that the construction workers used to get with, right?
Okay.
So at the end of this thing, they'd be getting together with them, but at the end of this, they had this big gala where they opened up the bridge, right?
Oh wow, okay.
Well, prostitutes from other areas were coming in for this big gala, and the Buffalo Girls beat the shit out of them and sent them out of town. So that's what they would sing is Buffalo Girls, won't you come out tonight? Won't you come out tonight?
That's pretty funny.
So now when we watch Life, we can go, that's so lovely.
That song's about hookers.
Hello, hookers.
Yeah.
Then there's another one, Ladies in Buffalo. Remember that off of
I love that. I love that. That's my favorite. That's probably my favorite David Lee Roth song is Ladies Night in Buffalo.
Oh man, that's a great tune.
That whole record was great.
Yeah, and then he followed it up with Skyscraper, and it was like he was making fun of Van Halen for being all kind of like getting wimpy, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Skyscraper, could it be any worse? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that song, Good Times or Damn Good Time, it's kind of like it was very it was very emotional towards like he was basically asking to get back into Van Halen at that time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's like I don't mean, maybe I shouldn't have been that cruel, but it's like that first album, Eat 'Em and Smile was just so badass.
Yeah.
And then he comes back with This Must Be Just Like Living in Paradise. And you're like, dude, weren't you making fun of Van Halen for using keyboards and being kind of poppy, and here you are? I don't know.
Well, and he certainly did it even on the EP. He used a lot of keyboards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. California Girls.
Yeah, I love David Lee Roth, but I was like, what the hell, dude? But then again, there's probably going to be some time where somebody's like, yeah, that Mike Floros is an okay guy. What the hell? That last album sucked.
But it caused, Steve Vai left after that record, and Billy Sheehan left during the record,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I discussed a little bit of that stuff with Billy when he was on the show before. I was just, just hitting a couple of little pinpoint areas because when I had him autograph my Skyscraper album, he drew a little pair of scissors at the rope and wrote "snip."
Yeah, it was like you had your pinpoints, and he's thinking those pinpoints are like a freaking voodoo doll. What are you doing? Every time you ask him a question about it, he's like, "Oh, here it is. Here's another."
I don't know. There's gonna be. I asked him about this once, just talking to him, and I said I'd love to hear the original tracks on Skyscraper before they either mixed them really low or just redid them.
Yeah.
He said he had them. It'd be interesting to hear them someday.
And the thing about it is I enjoy all three of those first, releases. I
Yeah.
even enjoyed the stuff off of, the EP.
Oh yeah.
It was really well done. It's well produced. It had hits, and you're like, good on you, man. I mean,
Yeah. Even A Little Late Enough was pretty good, but that tour was just, plagued with issues. I saw the first date of that tour with Extreme opening. Yeah.
Who opened?
Yeah, Extreme opened that show. It was actually, you know what it was? Wait, it was, no, Extreme was on first, then Cinderella, then David Lee Roth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. That is cool. Yeah, because
it probably cost you $10 or $15 to get in.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't remember what I paid. I think I was on the guest list for that one, but
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Oh, because it was like a hometown show.
My bad.
Because no, Extreme was on the bill, so like anybody that in the area that played in the music scene was on the guest list. It seemed like, in Boston.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Trying to think if I've ever been on the guest list for anybody. I'm gonna go with no. Okay.
No, come on, you have to be.
Nope. Well, no, Jason put me on the guest list a couple times for Westbound. That's true. There you go. Been on the guest list for Westbound. See? And no, there's another local band here that actually put me on the guest list once, which was really cool. Makes you feel special. Makes you feel pretty inside.
It does. I mean, especially if you're doing certain things. Like I was just hanging out with Mike LaPont from Symphony X, and I just told him, I said, dude, I'm just, just trying to work hard at this and just get back to knowing people,
Yeah.
So that it's not such a hard drive every freaking time,
Yeah.
I got spoiled by Stryper. Let's just put it that way. When I interviewed Stryper as my first band for publication, I mean, Samantha Egger from back then from Enigma Records was like, here, you need their new album? Here's some press information, here's this and that. And I'm like, good Lord, I love you. And so then the next one comes and you're like, oh, it's just not that easy all the time.
Yeah. No, I had a situation like that. Like you're talking about Sheehan earlier. I used to work at a radio station overnights, and I just hit him up. I got his email address, and he responded immediately. He said, "Yeah, sure, come on down." And it was like this is like 2003. They were doing like the G3 tour. He was playing bass for not Satriani, for Steve Vai. Satriani was on that tour. So I went to that show, and then they came back a few months later, which is Vi. And Vi had Sheehan, of course, was in the band, but also Tony McAlpine was playing second guitar.
Oh my God.
And I did an interview with him, and then I ended up he was so cool. I ended up spending the whole entire afternoon into the evening, and even going to, they did this, Vi was doing like a master class in between there, and going out there and hanging out with everybody during that. It was just so cool.
That's, that's the beauty of it. When you just start like doing this, hanging with you guys, it's the same for me. It's we're musicians, we're friends, we're, and it's great to just kick back and talk music. You know?
Totally.
It's a privilege for me, definitely a privilege for me. So, so I'll say it at the end again, but thank you guys for being here today. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Then just for people who may not have caught the first time you were here with Love in Chains, give us a quick background of how that got started and its inception with the name.
Okay. Well, okay. Much like Steel City, I was working on some tunes, and this was going to be a band where we were going to have like multiple lead singers, and so I had sung, some of the music, and Rob Kane had sung some of the music, and we were sending songs in, to Ty Sims, who was co-producing the album with me and mixing it, and every song came back with Rob Kane's vocals on it. So I said, dude, what's up? I said, do my vocals suck that bad? He goes, no, Mac, your vocals are fine. His are just better. So And that is it's true. So long story short, so that's how like Rob became like the in one way the de facto sole lead singer of Love and Chains. But he and I were planning on working on this. And Jason was gonna, we were actually gonna have Jason sing some tunes on it as well. We were looking for a drummer that sang, and it just kind of worked out that Rob was too freaking good for his own damn good. I mean, damn that man. Who, by the way, apologize because he couldn't be here today. So that's how the band kind of came about, as far as like having like, like the singular lead singer. And this is just something that, I was passionate about, because there are some songs that may not fit Steel City as well. We just wanted to have some fun, and so it just kind of came about that way. And of course, if I'm doing something, Jason's going to be involved. That's just
Can I ask you a quick question about that then?
Mm-hmm.
When you say, because this comes across my mind, I can write, I
Mm-hmm.
have written, I don't do it a lot yet. Maybe I'll do more once I retire and get all my other things together. But when you say that, when it's different than Steel City, what's your when you see the switch flip and you're like, yeah, that's not quite right for that. What is it about the Love and Change stuff that flips that switch that makes it not Steel City, more like Love and Chains?
Well, let me be, and maybe that might have been a little bit misleading, because what I can tell you is this. What I'll do, and Jason's been a part of this because since he's in both bands, he kind of sees it. I will send like 15, 20 songs to whether it's Steel City or Love and Chains.
Okay.
And I will just let the guys pick, because I can always write more music. There are some songs that actually kind of lend themselves more to one band or the other.
Okay.
But a lot of times, for the most part, it's really weird. But Rob from Love and Chains and Roy from Steel City, they kind of gravitate towards different songs. On very few occasions do they kind of overlap one another and say they both want to do this song. It's almost it's kind of surreal that it's happened that way. But it actually becomes advantageous, because what you're trying to do is you're always trying to put your best foot forward. And the guys aren't going to be able to do that if they're not performing music that they don't really feel a part of. And the invitation is always there in both bands for other people to contribute as well. I mean, to this point, it's kind of been me writing, but that doesn't mean like in the next Steel City or the next Love and Chains album that there won't be other songs that Rob or Jason has written that they will of course be a part of this. And that also includes Love and Chains. I forgot to announce this. We have a new drummer. His name is Guy. Yeah, his name's Guy Cole. He's from Pittsburgh. He's he's been part of the Pittsburgh scene for a long time. He's been playing for over 35 years. And he was in a band called the Steel City Crew, which was a Motley Crue tribute. And you'll have to forgive me, but the name of the Kiss tribute that he was in escapes me. But he's also in the XDB band, which is Xander Demos. And so he's a really, he's a really accomplished drummer. His idols, his playing style. He said, when talking with him, he emulates a bit of Tommy Aldridge. So, I mean, he's like a heavier drummer. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
Very cool.
So I answered your question and I added crap.
I love it. That's what it's all about. Yeah, because I mean, we've heard it over the years. The three of us have grown up listening to so much music that we go through these bands like Van Halen and like Styx and whatever it is, and you got certain folks in the band that go solo or do a solo. Well, Kiss. And it's like, how do you differentiate, between that and this? Now, in my case, I don't write a lot. So you're kind of like, or haven't written a lot in the past. So you're kind of like, yeah, that's pretty bitchin'. There's this guy over here that's like, hey, you want to write some music together, but you're not sure it's going to work out.
Yeah.
And that maybe dedicated enough. So you're like, this is a gem. I really don't know if I want to burn it on that. Maybe I'll use that
Well,
over here.
Well, it's, as far as like whether it's a gem or not, you have to, and Jason's a part of multiple projects, and I think there are many musicians these days who are, and the
Yeah.
reason is because you kind of have to have, you kind of have to have your iron in the fire on many different projects because
Mhm.
there's just not one these days, especially if you're simply a touring musician and that's all you do.
Mhm.
You need to
Yeah.
be in a bunch of different places because you're not going to be able to pay the bills if you don't, unless you're like, part of like a true legacy act that has like, a ton of following and you're playing to thousands of people and you're playing in stadiums or arenas. If you're Judas Priest, you've chances are you're going to be making a good living. If you're in another band, that maybe not be to their level,
Mhm.
you might need to be in a couple, 2, 3. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's really weird though, because sometimes, like when I first used to start writing, I would hear, certain people in my head when I wrote. I would always hear Janie Lane when I wrote,
Mhm.
um, or like a friend of mine, a friend of mine from Youngstown who was in a band called Lazarus, Jimmy Migliozzi. He has a voice that was very similar to Jeff Keith from Tesla. I would hear him singing,
Yeah.
But these days, or like there's a song I wrote called Cherry Wine, which Rob actually sang on the Last Love of Chains album. I heard Ann Wilson singing it. But now there are times where I'm listening to something like, this song would sound so great if Rob was singing it. Or, you know what? Roy would kill this song. It does happen. So it's like I am starting to hear voices, thankfully, of the guys that are in the bands that I'm in. And I'm very fortunate and blessed to be able to be surrounded by guys like Jason, who, he's been playing and touring musicians for years. Guys like Rob and Roy, who both have amazing voices. And, being around these guys, not only does it help, not only does it bring I don't want to use the word product, but the music, does it
Yeah.
bring the music. So, it uplifts the music, but it also uplifts me because these guys kind of force me to be more creative and become better as a player. And I'd say that especially holds true, especially for like JC, Tony Stahl, these guys they're just, like I said, they're all just amazing guys.
Yeah, that's always a key to me. And it always sometimes it's surprising when you say things like that. When you look at the musicians that we all know, we all look at ourselves a little differently. And when you say I like to work with people who are better than me and you're looking at the other person, like Jason maybe doing that, we're going, well, I want to work with you because I know how good you are. So when you say that about Jason, it's so mutual, yet at the same time, it's hard for us to look at ourselves sometimes and go, yeah, I'm okay. I'm pretty fucking good, but I still want to work with Jason because I know he'll bring my game up and I know I'm not going to slack and he's honest. He can be honest with me and I can talk to him and he'll tell me something about the songs that I'm writing or whatever.
Yeah, Mike's music is amazing. And that's what intrigued me the most. And then his guitar playing along with that. I mean,
yes.
I think the biggest thing about Mike
Thanks.
is he is so humble that sometimes I feel like I'm like, Mike, you're great. You need to admit this.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's one of those things where I think you're always looking to grow, man. I've even thought about taking lessons from like specific individuals just so I can, become better. I don't think there's ever a time when, you have to say, oh, I've accomplished everything that I need to, because that's not really going to happen. I mean, I
Right.
remember hearing stories about Randy Rhoads pulling into town and like looking to go in and take lessons so he could kind of grow as well. And he ended up being the teacher in those lessons.
Yeah, I agree.
So you're, like I said, you're always looking to grow, man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You gotta be able to do that. You gotta be able to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Sure. And I think at
True.
the same time, if we can, like Jason says, we can stay humble. You can be humble. However, at the same time, I think it's good to know what we've got and what we do. There's something natural within it.
Mhm.
If you've got a passion for it, there's something natural there. It's the reason that you write a lot, Mike. I mean, it's the reason that comes to you because that's a natural thing that you like to write. So, like with myself, over the years, have I practiced enough? Have I done enough? Probably not. but I've got a passion, and I hear the music and I feel the music, and I do what I do enough that people go, damn, you're a really good bass player. I'm like, okay, I am a bass player, and yeah, we want to shy away from expectations sometimes. I think that's really what it's about. Sometimes we fear the expectation, so that if something goes awry, then they're like, oh, you're just not that great anymore. And you're like, okay, no, but like you say, Mike, that's where it comes into play, where you're like, I'm looking to improve every day still. What I do as me is great. It's great. People love it. We have fun, and I can do this. People enjoy it. But I know that I could be a little better in this way, but still, it doesn't diminish your awesomeness. So
yeah, that's so
My
true.
awesomeness.
yeah,
I mean,
awesomeness.
I've been trying to do is this thing's even more different than I've done in the past. So I've taken this gig with like a jazz band on Cape Cod for the summer. It's a lot of Jocko stuff, a lot of stuff that really takes a lot of, but it's kind of cool because at the same time, I love playing 11 Chain stuff, Steel City stuff, the Westbound stuff. Believe it, it's weird to be playing jazz because it's more of a broader audience. You're playing to babies and like 100-year-old people, and they're all enjoying it. So, but my point here is just like you can always learn more, and that's one thing that I'm doing. So I've kind of just ingrained myself, and I've got like 30 gigs with these guys through Cape Cod and Long Island for the summer, just to reestablish myself and just do a different kind of music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's exciting, dude. I'm excited for you. I'm want to let's keep in touch about that, because that's really cool. I picked up Elegant Gypsy recently, an extra copy of the vinyl. I have one, but I found it at the store at Planet Score Records here in town, and it has the original sleeves in it.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and I'm like, so when listening to that, it's the same thing as what I just heard you talking about, Jason. I'm just like, when I heard my cool favorite rock elements in this jazz fusion stuff, I'm like, it blows the mind. It just opens you up, and you're like, this is great.
Totally. Yeah, it's crazy.
Man, playing Jocko stuff, dude. I'm proud of you. That's all I can say. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I've been a huge Jocko fan for years, and then I kind of fell out of it for a while. I got like, I was at Berkeley. It was so jazz oriented that was like when I played rock, it was like a breath of fresh air. Now I've kind of gone full circle to that, So
yeah, do you feel like you have that freedom then to take little bits of that and then put it in to some of the rock stuff you're playing, where you're, whatever it is, maybe it's a small little technique or a couple of little turnarounds that you throw in?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that way, and especially getting like reacquainted with fretless and stuff like that. So when it comes to writing, and then even technique, even if you're not playing a fretless, I mean, look at what was that, Jeff Berlin? He always sounded like he was playing a fretless, but he was playing a fretted bass, the way he slid into everything. So that's kind of makes you think that way a little bit too.
Yeah, that's impressive. Wow. What would be a good record to check out to hear Jeff Berlin doing that?
Oh gosh, off the top of my head, you have to put me in that spot. I'll have to get back to you on that one. Honestly, I do have a bunch.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be great. If you think of it, just shout it out.
But I remember something a few years ago. It was Jeff Berlin and actually Billy Sheehan. They did a thing called I don't know. I don't remember what it was called. Damn, I'm trying to think about it. But they did the small tour.
Wow.
And killer. It was just like kind of like they were doing some jazz standards and stuff like that. Well, Sheehan had that niacin thing for years too.
Yeah.
Now, it was right around that time.
Yeah, like when we're mentioning Roy, when I was down at they had the Rockin' Pod down there in Nashville.
Oh yeah, that was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and he did the Blue Murder track.
Oh yeah, that was
Valley of the Kings. And which he says, what other metal song is there that has the word? I should just let you say this, Mike. This is a great way of he's got this great way of saying things with he's got that Southern accent, but but anyway, when he said, "What other metal tune has the word bequeath in it?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Tony Franklin on that Blue Murder album with all that
Oh,
fretless work is amazing.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Mm.
Yeah, and of course the Firm before that kind of
Yes.
fall into that.
Thank
I
you
saw-
for mentioning that.
Yeah, I saw. I don't. Did you ever see them in concert? Either of you guys?
No.
No.
I saw them twice in 1990.
Wow.
They were opening for Billy Squier. So, but more people came to see Blue Murder. It was like the audience was leaving after that, at both shows that I saw, because I mean they sounded so good,
Wow.
And they did Jelly acoustically and whatnot. It was just great, And Tony Franklin at the time, he was like some big yoga guy. So I don't think he is now, because I've met him a few times, and I don't think he doesn't look as in good a shape. But anyways, long story short, yeah, he was like, I remember they brought these bar stools, and he was doing these crazy moves while he's sitting there playing the bass, and he's putting his his feet together in the air. It was nuts,
God.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, man, that's wild.
That guy was just wild. I mean, so we're going
He
to
might still be in great shape, but Father Time might be disagreeing with him. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think he's still in great shape. I just don't think he can do those yoga moves anymore. At least he doesn't do them on stage anymore.
Dude, I can't squat 600 pounds anymore either, but he doesn't have bad shape.
Oh, I know.
I gotta get started on my workout myself. I'm going to see if I can add this here real quick. I just I found this. This is from your announcement on Facebook, and there's your Guy Cole on drums.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what brought about the change from Brian to Guy?
Oh, well, I received, initially just, Brian had reached out to me, and he just said, "Hey man," as we were starting to do, I guess, everybody has their own different form of pre-production. And I guess you could say we were starting the pre-production on Love and Chains-2, or yet untitled album. And Brian just kind of reached out and said, "Hey man," he goes, my life has changed a bit. And I just really don't have the time to dedicate to this as much as I did before. And, he's got a lot going on in Nashville with another band, and he's got a full-time gig as well. He's newlywed. And so with all of those things kind of happening for him, he just, kind of bowed out gracefully. There's nothing nefarious about it or anything like that.
No, that's I've been there, done that. That's
it was, it was kind of, at that particular point, it was kind of deflating, because, we like Brian, we love the guy. He's a great dude.
Cool.
And he's so quiet, so laid back, and so it was kind of a blow. It was kind of a blow to the band. But in the interim, we were talking with Jason. Jason had a guy that, a guy that he's been working with, and we absolutely, we love the guy. But he's from Florida, and what we were looking for is somebody local to Rob. So it's like, if we started doing gigs in like Pittsburgh, in the surrounding areas, it would become a little bit more financially feasible for us to do so. Because, Jason lives relatively close, and me, it's like, if I'm the only person that's flying, it becomes a lot more, and then I'm flying home. So it's like a little vacation.
Yeah.
And, so Rob sent me some video and some audio of Guy, and I was like, holy shit, man. Yeah, he can play. And that's really how, and then, so there wasn't like some audition or anything. It was just one of those things where, the guy can do the job.
Yeah.
And, I am now not the biggest guy in the band either. So, I mean, he's like, if you look at him, he's like a weightlifter dude, and he's massive. So
yeah, let's take another look here. There you go.
So I now feel like a very tiny man.
I was going to say, is he like, what's he like, 6'3" or something?
He's huge, dude. That's all I know. But,
I haven't met him in person yet. So is he like a tall dude? Okay.
I think so. I mean,
he looks like he kind of comes from that. Now I say this all the time.
He looks like your Viking clan, dude.
yeah, exactly. He looks like the guy I need on my team.
That dude looks like he just invaded England. I'm just saying.
Have you been watching Netflix, that Vikings program?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I watched
you almost see
years
that
ago.
guy. He's like rowing over to England right now, saying, "I'm going to go beat some ass." You know, I mean, and after I'm done, I might play some drums. You know, but so that's how it came about. And the
Okay.
really great thing about Guy is, once we kind of brought him aboard and he accepted, which was kind of gracious on his part because
Yeah.
knowing the way we are, he's like, yeah, all right, sure. But no, he already, he's already, looking at like we've already sent, we're sending him tracks. He's
Yeah.
already looking at laying. He's already, he's got a home studio with electronic drums, so he's already looking at laying stuff down and getting the ball rolling, which is
Yeah.
really kind of great. The guys hit the ground running,
Yeah.
and
Because you say
we couldn't
here,
be happier.
yeah, that's exactly what you're saying. He's already hit the ground running, digging into our demos and laying down initial drum tracking for our next full-length original album. So
Yeah.
get your popcorn ready.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
seriously, yeah.
I
Yeah.
love James Michael Holenstein.
who just messaged me, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like, ask me if the podcast is over. No, it's not. We're on
No.
right now.
Yeah, he
so
said that great, however you want to say it, GIF, whatever, the guy eating popcorn.
yeah, I saw that. I think it's called a GIF.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it today, is a GIF.
Yeah, it's a GIF. It's not a GIF. Choosy mothers aren't choosing it. So
Maybe choosy mothers just don't know how to spell GIF. I don't know it.
Yeah.
See,
That's true.
maybe all these years it should have been GIF. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Could be, but I think it's a GIF.
I mean, let's put it this way: there's choosy dads out there too.
There are,
Yeah.
but if you choose GIF, you suck. No, I'm kidding.
I eat well up the bar, so
So, but what I was going to say, as we look at the drum kit here, he kind of looks like that Keith Moon style, or that Keith Moon school where you got the drums a little more flat.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
You
That
know
always
what-
catches me. Did the guy from the Romantics kind of do that too?
I think so. Jimmy,
Yeah.
was Jimmy Marinos? That was his name, right?
I think that's right.
Yeah, back when I had hair, I had my hair cut like that.
Oh,
But
the guy who actually sang, the guy who sang What I Like About You.
and that's that's one of the other things I liked about that picture of Guy is when you look at it, he's got the ear, he's got the microphone on there.
See,
So the man can sing some backing vocals. So that's pretty cool.
that
Yeah,
is helpful.
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
That is very helpful.
Yeah.
They got a nice Ampeg rig there too, and a Marshall.
Oh yeah, that's Looks like you got it. It's got the A10 with the SVT classic head and
Wow.
Marshall JCM 800 series, maybe a 2000 cab.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Yeah. So we're excited. Like I said, we're super excited to have Guy aboard. So
That's great.
we were a little he had some family stuff that he was dealing with today, so he couldn't really join in.
Oh,
and
okay.
again, he and Rob both sent their apologies to that because they would have loved to have been a part of this.
Well,
But,
and I would love to, I'd love to have you guys back on, even, like when the EP comes out, we can talk a little bit more about how it's doing, and we could even have a quick release thing. We could just have you back on for a few minutes. It doesn't have to be forever. And, since we're getting most of the information now. So let me go ahead and put the also let me put this graphic up too of the cover as well. Wait a minute.
Right.
I got to see if I have it up here. Hold on. I don't see it. That's weird. Now I'll put this in for now, because here is the first release again, so that everybody knows what that looks like. Everyday Heroes. So make sure you check that out. You can check it out on streaming services. You can purchase it through do you have the website where they can go, right?
You could just simply go to I think it's bandcamp.com if you want to order physical product of any of our CDs. And then they also have the digital downloads there.
Good.
As far as our particular site, idoraentertainment.com, that will get you to, if you go to idoraentertainment.com/shop, that will get you to all of the merchandise. And I'll probably be making some Rust Belt merch and placing it on the site here within about the next week or so. I wanted to have it kind of coincide with the release of the album.
Gotcha.
So,
let me go ahead and I think I put it in down below actually, but just in case, I'll put it right here in the chat too, so you can see, everybody can see it there. So, and then in the meantime, though, I got to get that.
That would be our email address.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's not right. Okay.
No worries.
Let me see if I can drop that, if that goes in easily enough.
Now, where are you based?
Me, St. Louis.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. There we go.
A place where we definitely need to do a show.
I'll tell you what. Point. I just went to the Symphony X show the other night, and Heathen opened up, and they were like, you guys in St. Louis here are killer. They're like, I don't know why we've never been here yet. You know, he's like, this is our first time in St. Louis, and I don't know why. So, you know, it was a great show. They did both bands did a great job.
What was the venue?
The venue was one, Jason, thanks for asking, because it's one that I'd never been there, but there's the Pageant, which is a wonderful, one of our best venues. And then just across the parking lot in the next building over, they have the Del Mar Hall. And
cool.
And it's like a multi-level bar, and merch is in the back of the venue. And then they have different levels down to the floor where that's of course where I went straight there and got up in the front. And
that's so cool.
Yeah. I love watching a show up there. It's Jesus. I'll tell you what, headbanging is a great thing. Oh, look who it is. Somebody is taken off for a meeting thing.
I am. Cool.
Oh, Christine.
Uh-oh, there you go.
Yeah, where do I look that I'm not looking off?
Right there.
Hey, I have to ask you something.
Yeah.
How you doing?
You do better when this is over.
Oh, man.
Or this.
No, my networking thing. So if you know doctors, send them my way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's totally in this wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, that's
totally
exactly.
All
well,
right.
Doctor. There's all kinds of.
It's good to see you guys.
Good to see you too.
Right.
All right. Have a good meeting.
No, networking event.
Oh, have a good networking event.
Yeah, booze and apps.
Boobs and apps.
Booze.
Oh, booze. I'm so sorry.
You were terrible.
No, I'm just one track minded.
They kind of go together.
They do.
Yeah.
Don't blame me.
You know.
Hey, quick question. So I know we all like hung out in Nashville, 2 or 3 years ago. Is that event still going on now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll be invited back.
Why not?
I don't know. I might have kind of shared my feelings about them not like reaching out to us.
Oh,
so yeah, that might be on me. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, well. It looks because it happened a couple of months ago.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because it happens in April, I suppose. That's when it is. Then it's April 11th through the 13th next year.
Gotcha. Because I think when we did it was like July or something when we did it.
It was like May or June. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah. I think that's right.
Same location.
124 days.
No, different location. I mean, it's a great event. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, it was just kind of awkward that, you know, it's kind of awkward that we didn't get, like, I guess nobody reached out to us, and and then they like, are you coming? Like it was like really late in the game, and I'm like, no. And I just let them know why, and I'll leave it there. I'll share that off air.
I just let them know why.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this.
Yeah, it was a first year. It was pretty good. It was a decent turnout. It was a fun event.
Yeah.
Yep.
They had some interesting folks there doing some really cool. Well, Billy Sheehan was there with Greg Bissonette, and
yeah, that's right.
The Appice brothers were there.
That's right.
Yes. You can't say just one or the other. It's a peace/apathy.
Yep.
Those guys were super cool, though. You know,
They
are.
those guys were awesome. They were really killer.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was wearing a Vinnie Vincent shirt, and it's like the second they saw this shirt, they were like, "Oh, let me tell you a couple of things." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I really want to hear all this, but okay." Yeah.
Come here. I got something to tell you. I
They're
mean,
like, "I got some stories for you, son."
it's kind of like who doesn't, I would assume, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love Vinny, man. That guy was a huge influence on my playing. So just saying.
No,
Yeah,
I
no.
get it.
Good dude, you know.
But there again, when
Yeah.
you have a song written about you,
Yeah. I'm sure at some point or another there'll be one written about me too. Like, what a bastard that Floros is. He's a son of a bitch.
you know, look, don't give away all my lyrics ahead of time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. That's right. You said you've been writing. So,
I mean, now they're going to think you wrote it.
well,
So,
you know,
which I suppose you did. You
I
influenced
do what
it.
I can.
So,
Yeah, I'm an inspiration.
damn it. I had a thought in my head I was going to ask you, but I can't think of it now. Yep, never mind. So you're working on the next album. So where are you now that you're doing this EP? This is done. These 6 songs are
Yep.
packaged. They're ready to roll and
Yep.
coming out on the 28th. And where are we with the new record?
Well, with the new record, we are currently, like I said, there, like I said, pre-production means something different to everybody.
Okay.
When I do this stuff, in regard to like the music itself, I will pretty much get a song completely done.
Okay.
You know, and everything from programming out some drums, playing the bass myself, doing all the guitars, singing backing vocals, and then I'll just attempt it. Sometimes it's like if I'm singing for Rob or for Roy, I'm like kind of singing way out of my wheelhouse just to try to give them an idea of what I'm looking for.
Right.
And that's really fun because then these guys kind of sit there and listen like, yeah, that's not really your, but yeah. So we'll get everything done. And then that way, what we can do is, at the very least, when we go into, like you said, pre-production, and you go into the recording process, at the very least, the guitars are all done.
Mhm.
You know, you could pull the guitars off, you could pull the, the guitar solos, the guitars, and you kind of put that into a click track and have it ready to go. Then we can do the drums. Then Jason can come in and do the bass.
Yep.
He's already kind of got a vision as to what we're going to be doing on the bass line. He can kind of add his own personal stamp to whatever he's, he could kind of really just make it his own.
Yeah.
And then, that's how we do it. And then if we need to go back and redo like the guitars afterwards, or we need to go back and redo some solos or something like that, because, we do. And then we get all the backing vocals. And then if we have like keyboards or something, we call in our good friend, Tony Stahl, who, he's our brother from Steel City. So we'll have Tony like do it like he did the keys on Voodoo. He did the keys on Born and Raised on Rock and Roll. And, so we kind of just piecemeal it back together. We start with the stems that I send, and then we piecemeal everything back together from there.
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
Then
yeah.
Tony's amazing.
Yeah.
What's the song so far in either in the career of this band or Steel City that you found was the easiest track to get in and get it done?
Oh boy. I don't know, Jason. Which one's easiest for you?
In regards to
you've got the
two
last
bands.
2 albums.
I would say, for me, the Love and Change stuff has been awesome. But mostly the Steel City stuff has been, I really kind of understand the direction. I'm still, where I love the Love and Change stuff, no pun intended, I'm still kind of, getting in the groove with that. As opposed to with Steel City, I can just like, okay, I know where Mike's going here. Jump in and do this. It's interesting because Mike's playing is like different on the Love and Change stuff, so it takes me a little bit more to digest that.
Interesting. Interesting.
As far as ease of, which songs would you say are easier? Is that what you're saying?
Or we can step to the other side and say, do you have a certain track that you remember was a bitch? Just because you're just like, And and if it's one that you don't want to discuss why it was, that's fine too. But if you have one that you're just like, I never thought I'd get that fucker done.
Well, okay. Easiest. Easiest would probably be for Love and Chains. I would probably say less than 0.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Although, again, credit to Eric Johnson, who was part of the production team on Everyday Heroes. When we did that song, he kind of heard something a little bit different in the chorus and the way I played the chorus, and he sent me something back on guitar, which it was different,
Okay.
and quite honestly, it was better. And so, again, we gave him writing credit for that as well. That song was probably the easiest because the solos, it's all out of E minor, and it was just and the verses is a very simple verse to play. That was probably the one of the least challenging songs. As far as the most challenging, I would probably say Locked and Loaded, which was the opening track, because it's there's a lot of speed to it, and one of the things that and it was tough for me also to swallow. I had we had a bass odyssey in this, like a jazz bass odyssey in the center of that song, and Ty was like, "Mac, the bass odyssey ain't gonna work. We're gonna cut that one." So that was kind of a bitter pill for us to swallow. But so that song was tough just from the guitar solo part, also as well, because it was tough because it's a fast guitar solo, and Ty called me one day and he goes, "Mike, you sent me 7 guitar solos. I need 1." So he's like, "I don't care how you do it, but get it down to 1." So we did. So that song was really tough, and the guitar solo for Darkness Falls is just, the middle guitar solo was such a beast to get it done. And if you listen to the song, it's basically, it almost sounds like it's very John Normie.
Uh-huh.
So there's that. As far as easiest, oh gosh. Easiest, I'd have to say Love and Chains was probably off the Rust Belt. I would say Voodoo.
Okay.
Although, as far as the playability of it, the hardest part of that was actually just singing and not trying to sing just like Michael Stanley, which I can do. So, trying to make the song your own.
Yeah, especially when you put on your Southern drawl, I can hear you doing that. Because we do My Town is what we do.
Oh, it's a great tune, man.
Yeah, it speaks to me because I wasn't a musician. I was a wannabe musician before I moved to St. Louis. So now that I've been in this town longer than I was ever in my hometown, so this town, taught me it's never too late. Starting at 36 and now playing out professionally, it's like, that's what this town taught me. It's never too late, because there's so many great, as I'm sure
that's a great line,
in your areas have had people that encourage you and are the one, were helpful getting you where you are. It was the same way around here. I had people that, phenomenal musicians and bass players that still freak me out when they walk in the room when I'm playing. I'm like, oh shit, I just missed that note. Damn it, I just missed that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's always fun when you're dropping clams in front of people that are like really good.
And it's not a clam, Mike. It's every damn clam.
Yeah, it's plural. That's tough. Like you see, like you're standing there and you're playing, and Jimmy Bell comes up to the front of the stage, and you're like, whoa. Yeah. Then it's like, oh shit, really?
Yeah, that is tough.
Stuff like that, for sure. I couldn't even imagine if I'm standing there and like Doug Aldrich or Reb Beach also comes up and they're like, let's check this guy out. And then they do that musician folding arms thing. You're like, you damn it all to hell. Although I would absolutely kill to open for Winger, man. That's my jam. winger, striper, warrant.
Who isn't Rob opening for winger?
Rob and Guy are both opening for winger in the Xander Dimas band. So I've only got one thing to say to both those guys. You son of a bitch. But yeah. So I mean, and they also open for Aldo Nova. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, why don't you just, they didn't stab me once. I feel like I've been stabbed twice. So yeah. Kind of rough. But
I remember we were actually getting ready to go on stage with it was the same event that Love and Chains played, but Still City was getting ready to go on stage. And Jack Frost, he plays guitar. He was there. He was roots on. So he is a guitar player for Aldo Nova. I played with him years ago. He's part of the legend in the Jersey scene.
I think if I ever opened for Aldo Nova, I'd want to get those cheetah pants that he had, or that cheetah suit. I want to wear one of those with the boots, get myself a little wig with the headband. I remember wanting to be Aldo Nova when Fantasy came out. I'm like, that guy's cool as shit, dude. I loved Aldo Nova. That was my dude, for sure.
Yeah. I remember I saw him open for Sammy Hagar on that big tour, and
wow.
It was
Sammy
Hagar was not feeling well,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that album that had 3 lock blocks on it.
Yeah,
that's
3 lock blocks. Yeah, title track. Yeah.
So he opened for them at the Palace Theater in Albany, New York. Well, he opened for Sammy, and Aldo was just on fire. I mean, that song was like number 2 at the time.
Yeah,
and
Aldo was awesome.
Hagar came out. He said he didn't feel that well, so he didn't make it through the whole show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I never ever saw that happen before, but he pledged to come back. He came back a year later, played 4.5 hours, but. I'll just never forget, people were walking away from that show saying that, that dude Aldo Nova blew away Sammy Hagar.
Oh, wow.
I think Sammy was really sick, but because he came back on the I Can't Drive 55 tour and just blew the place. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sammy Hagar is unreal, dude. I love that guy.
He is. We're going to go see him later this year. And I got to hang with his son, Aaron.
Oh, very cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Super cool, dude. Super cool, dude.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy here who set up the whole event said, okay, we're going to get there. They'll rehearse and then we'll have something to eat. He said, and then you'll drive Aaron and his wife back to the place where they're staying. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow. That's really cool.
So super cool drive back. It was a nice long drive too. So it wasn't like, oh, yeah. Okay. So I'll turn right here. Okay. And we'll see you later. It wasn't like that. We had like a whole drive to get back.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then we got to hang out at the show and stuff and talk. And
that's killer.
Yeah.
So you see them with, Jason Bonham, of course, is in the band, and Joe Satriani, Michael Anthony. That's going to be insane.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. My sister-in-law and I, there's a couple of stories about being able to see Sammy through because I worked at St. Louis Music. So yeah. Part of it was that. Part of it was just me and my sister-in-law, who's a redhead.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Just we work well together backstage. So everything was super cool. But Aldo Nova was so when Aldo came back, no, it was Sammy that was sick and he came back.
Yeah.
Aldo had an interesting career there where, he put out Subject and then he had a good heavy track on that. But then then he had Twitch in '86 and that just didn't
Which I love Twitch.
I like it. I like Blood on the Bricks.
Probably one of my favorite songs.
Yeah. They had Rumors of You was the single. I have the single.
Yeah, it's a good tune, but it's like I think they were probably kind of going with the times because it was getting a little bit softer at that time. Yeah. But I think if Lay Your Love on Me was the tune, man, I think they'd have probably just kind of really kind of tore it up a little bit more.
Yeah,
great song.
Yeah, especially because like Bon Jovi was, laying down their big tunes and then coming in with a ballad, and you're like, But when you hit it with a ballad and he's in that suit on the cover and there's pinks and yellows and oranges, you're like,
it was like I said, it almost had like you think about that cover, it had like a bit of a Miami Vice feel to it almost.
Oh yeah,
But
Everything
I
was
mean,
at that
but
point.
to me, he was still super cool. I couldn't wait. I was like, that album
Absolutely.
came out, I was still there, man. I was like,
Yep.
oh hell yeah, that's Aldo Nova. That's
Yeah.
my dude. Yeah.
Yeah. And
But I
then,
will say, go ahead, sorry.
no, please, Jason, go ahead.
When Sammy came back on I Can't Drive 55, he
Yeah.
made I'll never forget, he made like a huge mention about this. He mentioned how great Aldo was, and he said, he felt like he couldn't live up to competing with that because he had the flu. So then he played 3.5 hours on I Can't Drive 55 tour at the Glens Falls Civic Center. And I mean, the lights came on and he had played so long. I mean, it was like, by the time we got off stage, it was like 1:30 in the morning. I'm surprised let the place go, but half the place had emptied out, because he outdid the audience. It was that incredible,
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy when the audience is tapping out,
Yeah. And he had so much great music to that point to play. I mean, God.
Oh, yeah. I hung out with him on, when he did the Maz Tequila thing, or he
Yes.
had that song, Maz Tequila. Yeah. So he came around and I was working with Universal at that point, and as a rep. So I would do stuff like, send stuff out to record stores, kind of low level person, but at a cool job. So I used to go to these events. So the rep invited me to go, and he actually was the Hard Rock Cafe Boston. He was making drinks there that whole night, and it was so cool. And then he performed upstairs after he did this little pre-show thing with everybody from the label and everything. It was so cool.
Sammy's like that. He's that kind of, and I don't mean, I don't, how I mean this. He's that wash your feet kind of guy.
Oh yeah, exactly.
He's like that, he made drinks all night. It's like, dude, we're just all here to have a good time. I just happen to be Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I know how to do this stuff. So let's do this stuff.
Yeah.
And, and that's what really solidifies him as a relatable musician,
Mm-hmm.
I just think.
I've got one more other story too. I totally forgot about this. I know we're going to talk more about Love and
Please.
Chains.
No, go ahead.
So one time, so my parents used to live in Atlanta, Georgia. My wife and I and the kids, we'd always drive down there. And I had heard as I was driving, we're going to stay in Savannah, Georgia. We heard that Sammy Hagar was doing like a local appearance for something. He was just doing a personality thing. And so we roll in that night, and I saw this guy who looked kind of like Sammy Hagar from far away. My wife's like, no, that's probably not him. He looks kind of a little heavier. She's looking at the pictures like on her phone. And then the next day, literally, we go down I'm walking the dog because they let dogs stay here. It was at this killer resort in Savannah, Georgia, golf resort, blah, blah, blah. And I look down at the pool and I see a guy down there, but I swear to God, he had bright red bathing suit on, and it was Sammy Hagar sitting at the freaking pool. Nobody would even approach him. There was a few people that took pictures, but he was there by himself most of the day. And so my dog was with me later in the day, and my wife's like, "You better not bring the dog to the pool." I said, "Well, I don't want to leave him in the room all day. I gotta, So we walked down around there. The people at the pool let him come in. They gave him water. Then he went in the pool, and then Sammy Hagar, who was in like this little kind of exclusive area, comes down in the water and just starts petting him. It was like the funniest thing. It was so cool. Yeah. He's like asking all these questions about my dog and everything. It was great.
Oh man. Yeah.
Cool.
Mike, do you have any Sammy stories?
Only that I've seen him a few times and that he's awesome every single time. No, I have no Sammy stories. I wish I did.
When did you see him? What
gosh.
tours would you have seen? Do you know?
I can't remember which tours they were, but I saw him once with I saw him with Jason Bonham and Vic Johnson was playing guitar, and Night Ranger had opened. So there was that, and then I seen him another time, and I honestly just can't recall what tour it was. It was, but it was more like 2000s. It wasn't where it was like back in the day. I never had the good fortune of seeing him back when he was in his prime. But but to me, he was still in his prime. That dude just. The cool thing though is seeing him at a later time. He plays Sammy Hagar tunes. He plays Van Halen tunes.
Halen.
Jason Bonham's in his band. He plays Led Zeppelin tunes. You know, I mean, it was just really cool because he just kind of runs the gamut of his career and plays Montrose tunes. You know, so it's like, it was kind of, I almost feel like it was more fortunate to see him later because he had more to share, if that makes any
Absolutely.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No,
you
I
know,
agree.
so I really, I enjoy seeing him. I'd love to, you know, see him, love to do a show, you know, open a show for the guy, but I'd just be happy to see him again because he's so good in concert. He's amazing. I love Sammy. You know, I
Well,
actually have a version of heavy metal that I've done that I need a singer to sing. So,
Oh, yeah. It's funny. Like, I always wanted to bring that up to you. I was like, we need to do that song.
yeah.
I'll sing it with you.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a few different things. I've met up with him a few times, whether it was at a concert. I did that a couple of times, like you said, Mike. Back in that time, I saw him on the tour where he had Montrose with him, and then
cool.
2 years later, then they came back. He came back, and then that year, I told my sister-in-law, I said, "I'm not telling you that last show set a precedent. I don't know what's going to happen. We may just have tickets." She's like, "That's fine. I just want to see him play. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, if we don't meet him, that's fine." Well, we got backstage again and we were hanging out and played pinball with Mona on the Ampeg in the Ampeg shack. And then we got working passes and we went to the side of the stage, and Mona, since we hung out together before the show, she looked at me and she's like, come on. And Michael had gone out, they'd switched, and they were doing Best of Both Worlds. So we did the Van Halen walk out on
nice.
That's badass. That's so cool.
And she went first, I was last, and Sammy just looked at her like, what the hell is going on? And she's laughing and running off. The next guy ran off. And I was standing there looking at Sammy, and I just pointed at him. And I'm like, yeah. And then I took off.
But were you wearing your kilt?
No, I wasn't. But you know what? I almost wore my kilt to Judas Priest, and I'll be damned. There was 2 people there with a kilt on. And then I went to Symphony X, and I almost wore it to Symphony X, and I'll be damned, there was a guy standing outside the venue with a kilt on. I go, dude, okay, that does it. Viking Stew, from now on, going to a concert wearing the kilt. That's what I'm going to do. Got to do it.
There you go.
Got to do it, you know. But I was so happy to see these 2 other gents there wearing theirs at the Judas Priest concert, which was freaking amazing. So anyway, but no, anyway, so I look forward to seeing Sammy later on this summer. My wife took care of that.
Did you see him on the Sam and Dave tour? I mean, that was like 2003.
No, but I've been watching little snippets about, you know, the history behind that and some of the interviews or press things that they did at the time. And I take it that you did.
Yeah, I went to that. It was interesting. It was the Boston one, and it was before there was it Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations or something like that the next day. I don't remember. It was some kind of event. And Dave was all bent out of shape because it was, you know, Michael Anthony was playing with him, but then Gary Sharon, who's from Extreme, came out and played with them. So then Dave got up and made this huge speech, and the audience was very divided. I mean, you had the Sammy Van Halen fans and you had the David Lee Roth Van Halen. I mean, there was confrontations going on in the parking lot outside. You know, people that were like, no, I love Dave with Van Halen. Sammy does not deserve to be represented as part of Van Halen, because it was big. It was like a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony or something that was happening right after that. I don't know, kind of event. And so there was all this controversy. So Dave, and after this whole thing happened, where the guys from Extreme, and you know, and Michael Anthony is on stage, you know, he gets up there and says, you know, who would believe, you know, back then it was only 20 years. Now it's been like 40. Who would believe 40 years ago that Gary Sharon, Michael Anthony, you know, and Sammy Hagar be working for me? And it was in the breakdown in Everybody Wants Some.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So at this point, the drum riser is like going up. And so then Dave climbs up on top of it. And the whole place is booing him after he said that.
Oh, no.
Does this major Daily Roth kick. Brings the audience sort of back, but it was just kind of funny. You know, he was just kind of, I don't know. he was kind of struggling to own the show at that point, you know, but
Yeah.
it didn't really work out. You know, and Sammy, I think Sammy had blown him away. I mean, I'm a true Dave fan when it comes to Van Halen,
Yeah.
but Sammy definitely killed it, you know.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
was positive vibes there, you know.
yeah. Yeah. It's like I've always said, I don't even know why people get it. They're, you know, get any butt hurt about it, because they're apples and oranges. You can't even, there's no comparison. You can like one and not like the other because of whatever. You can maybe not like the music they did after David left. You can do that. You can dislike the stuff that they did, but to sit there and go who's better is a waste of time.
Oh,
because they're both musicians, they're both singers.
Yeah.
Sam knows how to sing, so he's got a better technique, so he can actually sing your songs that you're going to do.
Yeah.
Instead of skipping half the song because back in the day you were too drunk or your voice was shot because you smoke and drink. And
yeah.
You can watch it a million times out there on YouTube and see Dave just flubbing his way through and not even singing certain lines just because he's too busy jumping around.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Playing
Exactly.
Pixie Stick, you know.
I've seen both versions of Van Halen, and I mean, I love the early rocking stuff, but it was every concert that I saw with Sammy, it was just like note for note, you know?
Oh man. Yeah. There's a reason why there's 2 videos of Sammy live with Van Halen. And is there one for David Lee Roth?
No, just bootlegs, right?
Bootlegs.
There's a live album that came out live from Japan, which, you know, no offense to Dave, it's just not good vocally.
No.
And it was released like right before Eddie passed away. It's like, I don't understand how they could have released that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, those are the things. Now, I will ask this one last lightning round question. I got to let you guys get rolling here, but if you could, whether you both do vocals as well, we can go that route. Or if you want to just say, if there was a band, one of your favorite bands, and their guitarist wasn't there, their bass player wasn't there, their vocalist wasn't there, and you know that you could cover it, what would be that band? Mine, I'll give you an example. If I could try out for a band, it would be Molly Hatchet. I can Danny Joe Brown all day long.
Yeah.
I just need to hear wop, bop, bop. Yeah. Come on. You said you could do Danny Joe Brown, man.
I do that thing. That thing he always does. He does all the stuff, you know.
Don't do no drugs.
Yeah. When it like not bad. He does all that, you know. You know, which I didn't realize he did one of those. We Do Dreams, and I didn't realize he did that not bad that first time. It's like there's the first one, then there's a second one where he does one not bad, and then there's the end where he does 2 not bads, and then you end the song. But anyway, something like that. What would be a band that you're like, oh, I could do that?
Mike, I'll let you go first.
Bad Company.
Oh yeah, Bad Company.
Yeah, I love Bad Company, man. You know, I've talked with a couple of people. You know, we've actually had chats about possibly doing a Bad Company tribute. I think the only reason why it hasn't happened is because I just can't wrap my head around being in a tribute band. And I'm just being honest.
I tried it myself, and I lasted like 7 shows before I was just like, I can't do this. I'm ripping my hair out.
Yeah, what was it about it, Jason? Help us out, because I'm sure that there's a ton of us musicians out there like myself who haven't done a tribute band, but I've been in a cover band for 20 some years now. But what was it that put you off to doing that?
I'll probably do it again at some point. I mean, the crowds are amazing. You play these venues. Yeah. I mean, I just about a month and a half ago, I played this place. It was called, what the heck? It was a theater in Western Mass, in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. You know, it's like you get treated like no other musician. Like if you're out there hustling, you're signed to a record label, and you're still not getting treated as good as these tribute bands, which drives me absolutely nuts. So beautiful hotel, sold out show, you know, meet and greet with the fans before and pictures afterwards. It's great.
Oh my God.
But the only thing I didn't like, I don't know. It's just the one that I was involved in, and the guy's really cool, but the management was a little bit too involved. And
Oh.
I just felt like, and there's still some of the guys, and I'm not trying to rag on the management. I
Yeah.
just felt like, and the guys in the band always were saying this too, is they wanted to do all in ears. And for me, for bass, it doesn't work at all doing all in ears because I thought it was my in ears the first show that I did. And I went to a local place called Bergstrom Music, which does backline for freaking Aerosmith. And I said,
sounds familiar.
yeah. And I said, I want the best stuff you got. And they're like, okay, this is the same unit that Steven Tyler has used when he's doing Dream On, blah, blah, blah. I said, you'll be fine. And I still just couldn't get that bass tone like a real amp on stage. I found myself, and they didn't have monitors either, going out front too much to get those side fills that were on the side of this old theater, most of the shows. That was the only thing I couldn't stand about it. So it wasn't really as much the music. It wasn't authentic, other than I just didn't like the technical configuration of the band.
Gotcha. Yeah. I've got a good friend of mine here in town that does multiple. I forgot that he does this third one now. He does Dogs of Society, which is the Elton John tribute. His name is John Gore, and he has this killer band. Oh my God. These guys are dead on. And then he does Billy the Kid, which is his Billy Joel thing. Now he's got Breakfast in America. So that's
cool. That's cool. I mean, I did a Rod Stewart, like years ago, I did a Rod Stewart tribute band for about 10 years. And then I kind of I totally fell out of it. But in regards to like bands we were talking, sorry, we kind of got sidetracked there. But vocal wise, I mean, it sounds so cliche. I mean, I've always been a huge fan of Gene Simmons and his, backups, his front vocals and stuff like that. So, I mean, just for party tricks and stuff like that. And my wife still gives me a hard time when I do the Gene Simmons kind of,
I do that. Whenever I do that, rock and roll all night, I'd done that with another band, and I always do that. He's always
yeah, exactly.
It's very Danny Joe Brown. You just take it and you just give it that little bit of that, Chaim Vietz thing about it, and then you're all set.
Yeah, so I mean, that's one thing I've always been able to pull Gene off, but then it's become, going back to the tribute bands. There's so many Kiss tributes, and no offense to Guy, but it's like it's got over the top. I mean, I remember like back when I was with Universal years ago, there was a guy from Cleveland, and he's still doing it. I can't remember what his name was. I'm sorry, I can't remember. It just escapes me. But he's got this huge tribute band still to this day in Cleveland, and back then there was very few of them.
Yep.
Now they're like on every street corner.
Well, the original Kiss tribute, if I recall, the original Kiss tribute was actually with Anthony White and Chris McLaren when they started to do. They did a Kiss tribute, and I wish I could remember the name of it, but they actually performed at a party for Kiss. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, I don't think it's an offense to anybody that does them. I mean, I think there's some great ones out there, It's I think it's a fantastic thing that people can, the one thing you can't do is, like I said this in an interview recently, you can't buy nostalgia. And that's actually a line, that was stolen off of Dwayne Morano from the band Morano. So that's the reason why these bands are so popular. They're popular because people are going to hear the music that helps them relive their youth, that brings them back to a better time and a place in their lives, in their mind. I mean, to me, the best time in my life is right now. Yeah. And so, do I still love to listen to classic music? Yeah, hell yeah. I listen to Bad Company on the way home today.
Yeah.
I listen to Aldo Nova on the way home today. It's funny, all the bands that you mentioned are the bands that I'm listening to on my drive home. But so I mean, it's great that happens, but to me, it's like I like living in the present. I like listening to bands like Crazy Licks. I like listening to bands,
Crazy Licks,
like Hardcore Superstar. There's a lot of great bands that are out there right now. Kick and Valentina, Storm Force. It's like I'm, the Resistance, which is one of Ty Sims's bands. I love them. So to me, it's like it's great to have that. Like there's bands that I'd love to have like been in, or like I would like to be in them for a day. But to me, I like living in the present, and I like listening to a lot of the newer music as well. And that's why I think it's great that there are labels out there like like Frontiers, like Kivel Records, like RFL. These are labels that are all just trying to keep this music alive and bring it forward. And props to all of them for doing so. And we've been blessed to be a part of 2 out of 3 of those labels, and we're kind of talking a little bit with RFL about doing something now, or at least I am. So I mean, good for and Paris Records. We can't forget our boy Tom over in Paris. I mean, these guys are all these guys are all working to bring not only like some of the classic bands that have their that are still coming out with new music, but they're bringing out newer bands too. And that's really we have to be able to appreciate the labels that are doing that, and the people that are still kind of taking steps forward to do that. That's why I'm very proud of bands like Steel City and Love and Chains, because we're trying to keep the genre alive. It would be great if some of the bigger festivals would kind of say, hey, we like what you're doing, but again, can't buy nostalgia.
Well, yeah, and it kind of goes back to affecting those people that you can, you just, which is why that's why I try to exist here, pushing forward the knowledge that there are bands out there doing these great albums, and they're worth listening to, and, Generation Landslide.
Oh yeah, great.
Yeah, kill it. Anthony White knows how to write a song, man. Those guys know how to. Those guys are great. They're
really tight. Great presentation on stage.
Yeah.
And I just, I love.
And I'm jealous of him being a multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah.
I've always been amazed at like drummers that can sing and play guitar too.
Yeah, Anthony's a special dude. That's for sure.
Brian Tishy's the same way. I play with him at Westbound, and he's the same thing. Like it's just crazy.
That's crazy that you work with him. I need to talk to him. Let's
Tishy?
get you two on the show together sometime too.
I would love to do that. Yeah, Tishy's a great. I've known Tishy since. I hate to date myself, but we went to Berkeley together. So, and then we were looking for a drummer for the Westbound record, and Chaz was working with him. A singer from Westbound. He was working with him in another tribute band, a Zeppelin tribute. So the Moby Dicks.
I was wondering what the name was going to be.
Yeah.
I'm a dick. I could be in that band.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm not an asshole, but I am a dick. Yeah. So there's bands like, and right now, there's another one that you guys should check out just for fun. If you're looking for something new as well, they're out of Columbia, Missouri. I just saw them and met them the other day. They'll be on the show soon. It's called The Many Colored Death.
Oh, okay. All right. That's interesting.
And they are a trio, and just killer musicians, great songs, just blew me away. Everybody's like, these guys are really good. I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm glad you like them. I don't know. I'll see. And I told him afterwards, I'm like, I hadn't expected that. That was really good. And the Midnight Devils are getting ready to put out a new record.
Nice.
They've just finished up their album down in Florida, and now it's getting ready to be put out. And, so all these bands, folks, just check them out. And if you have questions, get here, ask me, and I will tell you about a bunch of these bands. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, let me text you this band. Here's this Steel City band. Here's this, Love and Chains. Here's whatever. If you're talking about some more bands that have been around for years, Jaded Heart, you've never heard of them, check them out. Especially some of these covers that these guys do. And again, your new album. So what are the other, do you want to go through the 6 tracks real quick before we go?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Okay. So you have Michael Stanley, you're doing Voodoo. And what else do you have?
Well, I'm pulling it up right now just in case I forget one, but I shouldn't. I should not do that, but some of the songs we have, it starts off, of course, with a classic Ian Hunter song, which is Cleveland Rocks. And they're not, of course, Ian Hunter is not from the area, but it's a song that is, all about the Rust Belt. So that's where we started off, and that song was Rob's idea, and he kind of just really went with it, and it came out better than I expected. Then, of course, it leads into Born and Raised, which is the song that is, again, it's the Boku song. And to me, I just absolutely love, love, love the song itself. But I love the way it came out because it really has, I think, the backing vocals on this one to me were the absolute strongest on any song on the album. I mean, they just sound stellar. And, kind of for me, it's a bit more of a challenge because it was like as F sharp major, and me being, I write almost all in minor stuff, so it was like, oh, here we go with this a song in a major key, great. But I just channeled the inner key Marcello, especially. You could probably hear that at the end of the album. It's like one of my buddies, Ron Williams from the band Lazarus. He's like, Mike, you have the profound ability to make anything that you cover sound like the band Europe. so sure enough, it does have a Europe-y vibe to it, and but the song itself, Dennis Lewin, he wrote such a fantastic song. We feel so privileged to have covered it.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to remember the exact order of the album. I don't have it listed in it. I don't have it listed here, but we've got Voodoo, of course, which you've heard. That would be me singing love the song. Voodoo, the song itself, holds a special place in my heart. It's probably my favorite song off Heartland, and probably one of my favorite Michael Stanley songs. And I just really, really, again, the backing vocals at the end of Voodoo, to me, really just, they just really kind of came out fantastically. I started it off with the backing vocals on there, and with the idea to make it a little bit different than the album. And Rob just kind of layered them even more so, and it's like, holy cow, this sounds fantastic. Aaliyah, you can't go wrong with the Donnie Iris tune. We were kind of torn between Love Is Like a Rock, and Aaliyah, but when Rob was like, I could sing that song. I'm like, even the high shit at the end. He's like, yeah, you're like that. Yeah, like, okay, sure you can. All right. And I'm like, it's like, prove it. So he sends it to me, and I'm like, man, he can sing this, and he tears it up. I mean, he does a really great rendition of it. I think the toughest part for that song with us was the middle, where the ahs in the middle.
Yes.
We tried it, and I don't know what magic Donnie Iris was pulling out of his hat on that, but he could just not kind of give it that same vibe. We tried a little bit different, like a different phrasing and a different vibe there, and it just wasn't working. So we're like, you know what? Let's just go without, give it a little bit of a heavier vibe, and I think it actually worked for us to not do it.
Yeah, because people do it all the time with so many different songs. When you hear covers,
you can't top Donnie Iris. No. It's like all of these songs, it's like you can't top the songs. You can only hope to just pay respect to them.
And what Donnie Iris had been famous for, what other hit song in the 70s in a band?
That would be, it would be I don't think he wasn't in the band when that song, you're thinking of Wild Cherry, you're thinking of that band, correct? Oh, wow. The other song I remember is The Rapper.
Yep.
Yeah, but I was going to say, he was in Wild Cherry, but it was after Play That Funky Music.
Yes.
But The Rapper is his tune.
Yeah, with the Jaggers.
Yeah, and I love his song "Sweet Merrily." That's one of my, I love that tune.
Cool. I'll have to check that out. I was always a big fan of "Do You Compute."
Yeah, or another great Donnie Iris tune is "The High and the Mighty." That's a very 80s anthemic. It's almost like a hard rock, almost metal-y kind of song, which is kind of, when you listen to it, you're like, that's Donnie Iris. You're like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But the other song that we did, the Bell Brothers are both from Youngstown, Ohio. Okay. And I remember, listening to like Hot FM 101, which was our popular station back in Youngstown in the day. And I remember Robert Cool Bell coming on and saying, whenever I'm in Youngstown, my hometown, I always listen to WHOT, Hot FM, and you remember that. And I'm like, you know what? I know they're a Jersey band, but they were born in the Yo. We've got to do that tune, and it's more of like again, it's more like a funk kind of vibe, but that
Yeah.
song also has like a rock feel to it. So we just kind of played with it a little bit. And the guitar solo at the end is probably one of the favorite guitar solos that I've ever done. And I think the reason why is because it's out of my wheelhouse, you know? And so it still has like a very rock feel to it, but at the same time, it, like I said, has a little bit of a bluesy vibe. And
Mhm.
so I kind of like that. And then
Wow.
the final song is from our good friends in White Noise,
Yeah.
Paul Scour and Jimmy Gamina. These guys, again, they were, like I said, the Youngstown legends. We idolized these guys, especially Rob and I, because White Noise is really the band that was, like I said, if you've ever heard the band Noisy Mama, which came
No.
out on Atco in 1991,
Wow. Okay.
it's
Cool.
them. It's them. And
Man.
these songs were the songs that predated that album. When the album came out, we were all expecting "Rescue Me," "Rock Me," "Don't Throw Me Away." All of these tunes that we come to know and love. These are the
Yeah.
songs that we were expecting, and it's not the songs that we got. And now, mind you, I say that in a positive light because the Noisy Mama album itself is killer. It was a different direction. And the album, the songs, they were all killer, like Dave's Brain, Dirty Dog. These songs were all super cool.
Wow.
And I love the album, but it was just White Noise. The songs they came out with, again, this is the songs that we grew up in. This is the band that we idolized as Youngstowners. So I really kind of wanted to bring it in with one of the songs that kind of predated the Noisy Mama album.
Gotcha.
And they opened with Rescue Me, and it's the song that was just ingrained in my head. And the middle part of it is this, I always heard like a different solo. I always heard like a different vibe in the song than what they did. And I'm like, so when I did that and, Rob and I kind of played that out, and Jason laid it down. Jason is not from the Yo, so I don't think he was as familiar with White Noise as we are. When we laid this out, I'm like, I hope they like it. That was really the only thing. I'm like, gosh, I hope they don't think it sucks. Because the solo is really the biggest departure. The arrangement's pretty much the same, but the solo is kind of like the biggest departure from what they've done in their original.
Yeah.
So it was just when they returned, they all sent us messages, and it was like very kind. So we were just super happy to play it, to play that song.
That's outstanding.
So that's the 6 songs on the album.
That's cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's always neat though when you like when you're telling me these songs, I'm excited. It's like I said, my new mantra is when somebody says they've never heard anything, I used to have those days where I'm like, what? We all have had those days. We're like, what? We just look at somebody like, are you kidding me? You've never, and eventually I just got to the point where I'm like, don't be an ass, start being excited for these people because they've never heard it. They've never seen it. And now I just go, I'm really excited for you because you've never heard this and you get to hear it for the first time still, And
like
I
some of
love
these
hearing
songs,
these still, but you get to hear it for the first time still.
and with the exception, I think of like Misled, Cleveland Rocks, 3 out of the 6 of these songs, unless you're from, the Rust Belt, there might be a chance that you've never heard it.
Right.
That's not, excuse me, I'm so sorry. That's not a discredit or disrespect to any of the bands by any stretch of the imagination. I feel fortunate that I grew up in an area where I knew about these songs. But for some people, our version might be the first version they hear. And the only thing I could say is that while that's cool, and if they like it, we appreciate that. My suggestion: go back and listen to the original because nothing's going to top the original. The original is always going to be the greatest version of the song because that's your inspiration.
Right.
On very few occasions, I can honestly say I've liked a cover more than I've liked the original, even if the cover was really good.
Right. I was going to say there's covers that are fantastic, but you're still like, it doesn't make me not like that one any less. I was just talking about the Disturbed one the other day, where they've covered many things, but
Yeah.
they covered, Sound of Silence. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I get it and I like it, but I prefer the original. But the new one's good. Their version is good. I don't discredit it at all. It's not my preferred, because it's a build. You're going from here to here every time. It's just, okay, you're going to start here and you're going to build to here, instead of just flowing with the mood in and out. And
Yeah.
I'd rather do that. Other people don't mind the build, and that's great. That's why they both exist, and that's why I have plenty of respect for both.
Yeah.
Now,
Like,
their
I love.
version of Land of Confusion, I'm not in love with, because that singer has a dive at the end of certain lines that he does,
Mhm.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, stop doing that.
What's his name? Dave Draymond, isn't that?
Yeah, and
Isn't that it? I think so.
I'd say yes. They're a band that I just got familiar with them probably within the last 4 years.
Mhm.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is really good stuff. I can't believe I never was into this. But when it gets to that song, he does this little thing, and I'm like, yep, stop. Once or twice is enough. I'm done with
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
but that's the way it goes. But Jaded Heart did a great version of Easy Lover. That's all I can say. If you've
Yeah.
never heard it, check it out. I'm going to bring this Jason back in. Jason, are you with us?
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, I can. I was waiting to bring you in until we were done with the list of songs, so that we could leave with you here.
Oh, thanks.
And everything. So, well, thank you guys for being here.
Thank
I'll
you.
let you get rolling and enjoy the rest of your evening. And then what's your next gigs coming up?
Oh gosh.
Right now, we're in
whomever.
album mode. We're in
Okay.
album mode. We've got.
Yeah.
We haven't even thought about it. And same goes for anytime we're in whether it's us or whether it's Steel City, when we get to the album mode and we're just working on the album, or we're just gearing up towards that, like any type of release, that's the only thing that's on our minds.
Right.
I will say this much: more than likely, highly likely, with the release of the next Love and Chains original album, we will most definitely probably get a couple of shows around, like I said, the Youngstown, Pittsburgh / Cleveland area to help promote and open that up. And again, it's such a great benefit to have such a killer drummer, and actually that guy's in Rob's backyard. So I mean, and
Yeah.
it's like I said, in a way, it's Jason's hometown away from home.
Yeah.
And it is my hometown. So it's like, to have us all be able to kind of converge, it's going to make playing shows for Love and Chains probably a lot easier. And we'll look forward to that, but we'll be looking towards, like I said, with the next album release. And we've got like 4 or 5 of the songs chosen that we are for sure going to be, there's like 15, I'd say 15 or 20 songs in the folder that we, kind of shared with one another. We've got 4 or 5 of them that we absolutely know are going to be on that album. And we've started working on those. And then we're just kind of going to pick and choose the last 5 or 6 of them. It'll be like a 10 to 11 song album.
And in your head, if you were just thinking of the goal at this point, when would you think that you're looking at the release?
We're hoping January, more than likely February of next year.
Okay, cool.
And if we, at the very latest, spring. But we're kind of workaholics, and I think we can get the album done in much sooner time frame than that. It's just a matter of releasing it at the right time, having the proper promotion built up with whomever we're working with, just to make sure that the album gets the due that it deserves.
Yeah.
So we actually we need to formulate a plan in regard to that, because the album itself, if you don't tell enough people about it, you don't share it, it's never going to do the job that it should.
Right. Well, this time next year, I'll be looking at retirement. So I'll be ready to be part of the crew. You can just slap a laminate on me and I'll help out.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. I'll even
you'll be like
the
5th Beatle. You'll be
What's
like the 5th Beatle.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, man. It'll be great. Oh, man. All right. Well, gentlemen, I'll let you get rolling. And then let's get back together. Jason,
Yeah.
chat a little bit about that too with Brian as well. But
yeah, definitely.
let's get some reports going in the meantime while you guys are working on it throughout this year. And then and we'll be ready on the 28th. Everybody be ready. This album is going to drop on the 28th of this month. The Rust Belt. It's an EP, 6 tracks. You've heard it all here. So look, hi, there I am. I get to peek out. You could do that. Hi.
That's awesome.
I feel like we're on the Brady Bunch.
That's it.
All right, gentlemen. Well, have a great one. Thank you, everybody popped in, everybody watching out there.
Thank you, everybody that popped in.
Thanks.
Thank you to everybody that's that's supporting Love and Chains. We truly appreciate it. And thank you so much for having us, man.
Hey, my pleasure,
Thank
man.
you.
Anytime. I'll put this graphic up, and we will talk to everybody soon. You'll see me later tonight. I'll be on Go Game Go. In the meantime. Right. So, but join me again soon. I'm going to have Bethany Heavenstone with me soon. We're going to start that strip of shows about females that rock, and we'll be talking about all kinds of them. So, everybody take it easy. Guys, hang tight with me. I'll say goodbye to you in the green room, and we will see you guys soon. Take it easy.
All right. Peace.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you
Can
dig
you
it?
dig it?